Stevenage remain your surprise leaders over in League One with a perfect record. That's right, that's 4 wins out of 4. But will they still be there at the end of this weekend? We're going to get into that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at match day number 5, of course, with Stevenage, top of the pops, with the perfect bloody record, but breathing down the necks. It's the big boys. It's Cardiff. It's Huddersfield. It's Luton Town, of course. They're all within striking distance of getting top spot. We'll get into all of that and more in a minute. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want subscribe for Blackpool Rovers, League One, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. Can anybody stop Stevenage Town? Of course, I tipped them to go down. Goodness gracious me. But they're flying high with the best possible start you could ask for. 4 wins on the bounce. We'll get into all of that and more in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. But let's get to the deep end and, of course, predict the next round of games. Now, they're coming at you thick and fast over in League One. And we're going to go over the results this past midweek. Of course, we did have a postponement, though. Rotherham against Burton. We'll come another day for that one due to the cup game. Burton, of course, progressing via knocking out Tranmere on penalties. But Wimbledon against Cardiff ended up being a 1-0 away win for Cardiff. I went with a home win on that one, got that one wrong. Huddersfield Town with a 2-0 win over Doncaster Rovers. I went with a 3-1 win, not too shabby. Luton Town with a 1-0 win over Wigan. I went with a 2-1 win as well. Mansfield Town again stumped Blackpool, who are in trouble under Steve Bruce. I thought they turned a corner this past weekend, but no, back to defeats again. Northampton Town against Lincoln City ended up being a 1-0 away win. I went with a draw on that one. Barnsley did beat Peterborough to put themselves really in contention for a crack at the top 2 there. Plymouth Argyle, what's gone wrong there? Cleverly's not regretting his move to the south coast. Leyton Orient, though, they're bouncing back and they're looking good. Port Vale with a 2-1 loss to Stevenage. Didn't see that coming. And an absolute whopper, didn't I, really? Stockport County with a loss to Bradford City. Of course, I thought they would do okay, Bradford City, but I didn't think they'd be this good. And then, of course, Wycombe was lost to Exeter. Again, they look like shit. And Bolton and Reading couldn't get a winner between those two. So a lot of away wins here, so kudos to the away sides bringing the gusto. Of course, we have a league here. It is, of course, Stevenage at the top with 12 points of a possible 12. Cardiff City are up there as well, as you would expect. Barnsley, Bradford, Huddersfield, and then Luton. Going down, it's Peterborough, it's Plymouth, it's Northampton Town, it's Reading right now. So a lot of surprise names. This is sort of down there. Wycombe not doing the best. Blackpool need to get going, but it is still early doors in this. But of course, we have a prediction league. It is still going on. I know you've not seen an update, but they do exist. So get in there, keep predicting. The form should be out there. It's 100% free, piece of piss. Pump in your scorelines and see if you can come out top with a victory. But these are the next round of games, guys. They're coming at you this coming weekend, and another stellar weekend we've got over in English's third tier. We're going to start with a trip to Kenilworth Road. That's right, as Luton Town will take on Cardiff, and of course a match that was just last year in the Championship. So let's get into deep end then, shall we? Of course, Kenilworth Road at the venue. Luton Town up against Cardiff. Matt Bloomfield sitting in 6th right now with his boys with 9 points. Up against Cardiff and the Brian Murphy, who are 2nd with 10 points, of course, with a nice, good record for them heading into this. They played 16 times since 2002, 8 wins for Luton. We've got 6 wins for Cardiff. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. They last played at Kenilworth Road with 1-0 winners for Luton back in November 2024. Luton have actually won 5 on the bounce against Cardiff, so they do fancy playing against them. This match, though, coming at you with Luton on the back of that 1-0 win over Wigan. Cardiff with that same scoreline with a 1-0 away win over Wimbledon. Coming into this, even Stevens is your Luton Town. 12-5 is the draw. 27-10 is your away win again. So the bookies are shading it for Luton Town heavily. I'm gone with the 2-1 win as well to fancy their chances. Rotherham, who were not in action this past week, will take on Wigan. Coming out to the New York Stadium. Matt Hamshaw is the coach, of course. They're 17th right now, 3 points for them. I guess Wigan and Ryan Lowe here are 13th with 6 points for them, winning 4 and losing 2 in the last 6. They played 19 times since 2003. 4 wins Rotherham, 11 wins Wigan. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. They last played, of course, at the New York Stadium back in it's actually Boxing Day 2024. 1-0 winners it was for Wigan. They've actually unbeaten Wigan over Rotherham over the last 6 matches, picked up 4 wins and a couple of draws. They actually haven't conceded a goal against Rotherham in the last 4 and only conceded 1 goal against them in the last 6. Rotherham, though, on the back of that 3-0 loss to Cardiff. It's actually been back-to-back games without a win in the league for Rotherham, back-to-back games without a goal as well. Meanwhile, Luton did beat Wigan last time around. Wigan are just hot and cold right now. I think their away form stinks. They haven't got a win or a goal on the road so far in the league. The odds for this one then is 2-1 is your Rotherham, 11-8 is your Wigan, 9-4 is the draw. We're going to go with a 1-1 scoreline here. Point apiece. Split the difference. And then Wimbledon will take on Barnsley, coming at Cherry Records Lane. Johnny Jackson's boys are 14th right now, 6 points for them. out of a possible 12. Up against Barnsley, the Hunain, unbeaten start to the campaign. They are third with 10 points for them. They played Wimbledon twice since 2018. 1-1 for Barnsley, nothing for Wimbledon. There's been one draw between the two sides. They last played at this very venue. It was a 4-1 win for Barnsley back in January 2019. Goodness gracious me. Barnsley on the back of that 1-0 win over Peterborough on the road. Cardiff 1-0 loss to Wimbledon. Cardiff beat Wimbledon to give them the 1-0 loss this past week. The bookies, though, will go with Barnsley. I'm sure 50-8 is your Wimbledon, 27-20 is your Barnsley. They just shade it to do Barnsley on the odds. The odds here, the draw is 5-2. I don't know. I've gone Barnsley. Yes, I have. I didn't think the Hunain position would work, but he's turning it around, and they're looking decent right now, and definitely a contender for the mix of their early doors. Meanwhile, Bolton taking on Lincoln City, coming out at Bolton. Stephen Schumacher's boys are 15th right now. 3 matches now without a win up against Lincoln. And Michael Skabula, who've won 3 on the bounce in all competitions. They have played 11 times to 2010. 8 wins Bolton, 2 wins Lincoln, 1 draw between the two sides. Coming into this, Bolton are 15th with Lincoln in 7th. And then last played at this very venue in the league. 3-0 winners it was for Bolton back in December 2024. Bolton on the back of back-to-back draws, drawing Barnsley on the road, picking up the draw against Reading at home. Lincoln on the back of the 1-0 win over Northampton Town this past midweek. The odds for this, though, is 11-8 on is your Bolton, 4-1 is your Lincoln, and 13-5 is your draw. I do like Skabula. I think he's a good coach, underrated coach. Got a 2-0 win, though, so for Bolton. But they need to start putting these games away. You know, they got a lot of talent. Not too sure about the coach as well, Schumacher. Meanwhile, Huddersfield Town up against Stevenage. Of course, tip at the top of the table. Crunch Clash is 5th place Huddersfield. Up against the top of the table, Stevenage. They played 4 times in 2011. 3 wins Huddersfield. Nothing for Stevenage. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Huddersfield have won 4 of the last 5 in all competitions. They sit 5th with 9 points. Up against Stevenage under Alex Rebel, who have won 5 of the last 6 matches. All competitions. They did suffer a defeat, I believe, in the Cup. They last played at this very venue. It was a 2-1 win for Huddersfield back in August 2024. Huddersfield on the back of that 2-0 win over Doncaster. Stevenage with that 2-1 away win against Port Vale. That's a good result, that. Looking at the odds, 2019 on is your Huddersfield. 3-1 is your Stevenage. 23-10 is the draw. Bookies backing Huddersfield. Of course, I tipped Stevenage to go down, but at this point, there would be an absolute phenomenon to get promoted to the championship. I'd love to see him win this game, but I can't see it. Huddersfield will get the win, and probably a big one as well, and probably dent Stevenage's hopes moving forward. But we'll see if they can keep on going and keep themselves into giving themselves the great boost, of course, with the perfect platform to build upon. Meanwhile, Mansfield Town up against Leyton Orient, coming at you over at Mansfield. Nigel Clough's boys have won 3 in the bounce on all competitions. Up against Leyton Orient, who have won 1, lost 1, and drawn over the last 3. They played 20 times since 2003. 3 wins Mansfield, 13 wins Leyton Orient. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. They last played over at this very venue, 5-goal thriller, back in April 2025. It was a 3-2 win for the Orient, who have won 3 in the bounce. In fact, 4 in the bounce against Mansfield. Coming into this, though, Mansfield on the back of that 2-0 win over Blackpool. 3 wins on the bounce, all competitions. Leyton Orient, that 1-0 win at Plymouth. Goodness gracious me. 9-5 is your Mansfield, 29-20 is your Leyton Orient, 23-10 is the draw. Tight one, this one. I don't know. Probably going down the middle. No, nicking it. Giving it to Mansfield Town at home to make it, 4 wins on the bounce? Goodness gracious me. Meanwhile, Northampton Town will take it on Exeter, coming at 6 fields. That's right. Northampton Town to Kevin Nolan now 22nd with just the 1 point. Up against Exeter and the Gary Caldwell, who are 11th with 6 points of a possible 12. They played 20 times since 2012. 12 wins. There's a lot. 12's knocking around here. 12 points. 12 wins for Northampton. 4 wins Exeter. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. They last played at 6 fields back in August 2024. Around about this time last season, it was a 2-1 win for Northampton Town. The hosts on the back of that 1-0 loss to Lincoln. It's actually now 3-4 games without a goal for Northampton Town. Up against Exeter City side, who did pick up a 1-0 win away to Wycombe. The odds here, 11-8 is your Northampton, 21-10 is your Exeter, 21-10 is the draw. Yes, I think I've gone Northampton Town on this one, but looking at that, I might have to change it. Gone 1-0 win. Get my pen out. Get my bloody pen out. I don't do this too often, but changed my mind. I'm going to go 0-0. Yeah, I just looking at that, no goals in tow. So that's a 0-0. The table will not be the same, though. Let's go to Peterborough as they take on Bradford. Coming at you over at Peterborough. It's a bit of a stinking form for Peterborough right now, who are rock bottom. 24th, 24. No points. Looking grim. Up against Bradford, who are flying high under Graham Alexander. They are 4th in the table with 10 points and a possible 12. They played 18 times, 2004, 7 wins apiece. 4 draws, of course. Last time around, they played at this venue. It was a 2-2 draw back in December 2018. That was in the FA Cup, which was a replay. It ended up being a replay. Ended up being Peterborough winning on penalties. The last time they played in the league at this venue, also ending up 1-1, scoring back in November 2018. Looking at this, Peterborough on the back of back-to-back defeats, back-to-back games without a goal. Bradford on the back of back-to-back 2-1 wins. They beat Rovers 2-1. They beat Luton Town 2-1. They beat Stockport 2-1. They're cooking. They're clucking. That's what they're doing. They're bloody clocking. The odds for this one, 9-4 is your Peterborough, 21-20 is your Bradford, 30-5 is the draw. I think I've gone Bradford as well. Another 2-1 win. Oh, yes. Put that in your bank and have a little go at that. Next up, two teams in a bit of trouble. It's Plymouth, it's Blackpool. They need a result. Both sides coming into this. Plymouth under Tom Cleverley, they're 23rd. No points so far this season. Just one win in 6 matches. Of course, that one win in the Cup. Up against Blackpool and Stevie Bruce. Just one win the last 6 as well. Played 17 times in 2003. 6 wins Plymouth, 6 wins Blackpool. 5 draws between the two sides. They last played at Plymouth. 1-0 win as it was back in September 2020. A lot of draws knocking around between these two sides. 3 of the last 6 have ended up all square. Blackpool on the back of that 2-0 loss to Mansfield. Later went with a 1-0 win over Plymouth at Plymouth. Back-to-back home matches this will be for Plymouth. 30-8 is your host. 31-20 is your Blackpool. 12-5 is the draw. This, I think basically you're looking at it. First manager to go here. Plymouth with Cleverley, Blackpool, Steve Bruce. I think the loser of this, you're going to see them parting ways. Have I gone with a defeat? It does smell like a draw, but I think I might. Yeah, I've gone Plymouth to win this one. So we could see Stevie Bruce making way. Meanwhile, Port Vale up against Doncaster. I think they've got staying on that one for just a hair here. I think Blackpool and Steve Bruce will have a little bit more, slack because Stevie Bruce is experienced. I think with Plymouth under Cleverley, if he does lose this game, he will more than likely go because he is an experienced young coach. And I don't think they'll put trust in him to bounce back. Steve Bruce can sort this out. I just don't know if he'll be given time. Anyway, Port Vale up against Doncaster coming at Vale Park. Darren Moore's boys coming into this in 19th right now with 2 points of a possible 12 up against Doncaster and Grant McCann. They are 10th with 7 points so far. They played 19 times 2004. 10 wins Port Vale, 9 wins Doncaster, 1 draw. Of course, last time they played each other was last season in League 2. It was a 3-2 win for Doncaster at Port Vale back in August 2024. Port Vale on the back of the 2-1 loss to Stevenage. Doncaster, of course, did take an L against Huddersfield Town this past midweek. 9-5 is your Port Vale, and 8-5 is your Doncaster. 21-10 is the draw. So Doncaster just about shade it here, but it could go either way. I think I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Port Vale to get back or get their first win under the box here. And we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Moving forward, it's Stockport carrying against Burton coming at you at Edgeley Park. That's right, not the greatest week for Stockport either. Up against Burton under Gary Bowyer. They played 4 times to 2010. 2 wins Stockport, 1 win for Burton. 1 draw between the two sides. 8th place Stockport with 7 points so far, but back-to-back games now without a win. Up against Burton under 16th place right now. 4 points for them. 1-1 loss, 1 drew over the last 3 matches. They last played at Stockport. 2-1 win as it was for Stockport back in March 2025. Stockport on the back of that 2-1 loss to Bradford. Goodness gracious me. Burton squeaking past Tranmere in the Carabao Cup there. Penalty shootout needed. 20-11 on is your Stockport. 19-4 is the away win. 31-10 is the draw. Gotta go. I'm of course a big Burton fan with DGB. I like to see him do well, but I can't see him winning this one. 3-1 win. Stockport taking it to the house. And then Wycombe up against Reading coming to Adam Sparks. We could probably call this a bit of a local derby. Mike Dodd's boys are 20th with just the 1 point so far up against Reading and Noel Hunt, who are 21st, also with the 1 point. They played 8 times in 2014. 2 wins Wycombe, 5 wins Reading, and there's been 1 draw between the two sides. They last played at Wycombe. 1-1 scoreline it was back in December 2024. Wycombe on the back of a 1-0 loss to Exeter. Running with that, picking up their first point away to Bolton. Goodness gracious me. 6-5 on is your Wycombe. 7-2 is your Reading. 5-2 is the draw. That's the form. That's the bookies. But what about me? Gonna go with, I think I've got to go with, I did go with a draw ultimately, but it does feel like it could be a Wycombe victory. They need a win soon. And again, another man who's in the hot seat, you would imagine, is Wycombe's Mike Dodds. Anyway, this is what the table should look like. Of course, don't forget to bear in mind that little hiccup with my score line there. So it'll be a point for Northampton Town and Exeter. Doesn't really move the needle that much. But anyway, Barnsley will be top. Bradford will be second. Huddersfield Town, Luton, Stevenage and Stockport will make up the playoffs. Going down, Blackpool, Wycombe, Reading and Peterborough. Of course, we do have the prediction league. It is, of course, exist. It does exist. Get out there and do your thing. We'll be back, of course, with an update very, very soon on that and much more. But until then, I'll see you soon when I return. But until then, I'm out of here.